Rubber baby buggy bumper. The quick brown fox
Red
jumped out of the lady's
leather,
elbow.
yellow leather.
Red leather, yellow leather. Welcome back to Just These Guys. I am Lance.
And I am Mike.
And there I go with the lounge suit lizard voice again. It's going to be a great evening tonight. Sit back and enjoy. Hey, today on Just These Guys, what I think we're going to cover was we're going to learn the mystery of Mike's absence last week. Don't ever do that again.
Yeah. I really would love to never do that again.
I was like standing here. I felt the pressure to go on the air at 7:30.
Yeah.
I don't know what,
I wondered about that.
It's pre-recorded, but I was like, oh my God, 7:30. What am I going to do?
It'll be late.
And we're going to figure out why your guitar is not here today.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to mention one interesting statistic that I did not know, believe it or not.
Okay.
And any kind of response or feedback you have to last week's.
I do have. Yeah,
kind of
really
went off the rails.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, talk about pressure to go from being able to rely on some back and forth, which is a lot more natural.
Sure.
If you're out there, try to have a conversation with yourself out loud for
more than 2 minutes.
Half an hour. That's a long time, half an hour, just talking to nobody. But you did a great job. But my main question for you is, this is what you think about when you're standing around? Just thinking that these people are figments of my imagination.
Exactly.
That is a major way to control not even worrying about what other people are doing, thinking, feeling, saying. They're just figments. They're fig Newtons of the imagination.
Oh.
Nice little morsels. I don't know why fig Newton just came into my mind. But
I don't care what you think because you don't exist.
Right.
You're not here. I close my eyes and...
Close my eyes at night. Yeah. Whoa. It's an interesting thing to consider.
Well,
walking around and doing that.
Before we jump into that, did you appreciate your coffee cup pour?
Yes. Oh, yeah. You did well. And I especially appreciated the ghostly appearance.
You did get to see that.
Yeah. Man, I have to admit, there was a couple of different times where I felt like I was laying there, because I was laying there listening to it, still trying to recover, where I was thinking, this is kind of what it's going to be like to be eulogized. Am I really here?
He said.
Am I gone?
Okay. 1, 2.
Yeah. I missed this for sure.
You haven't had that for 2 weeks. And he's got it all over his face.
As it should be.
It's like Santa Claus with a whipped cream smile.
Ah, yeah.
Now.
Oh, yeah.
No. You even got the redneck shirt on.
I know.
How you supposed to wipe your mouth?
Yeah. Oh.
There you go.
I'm a redneck with some manners. Yeah. Have you noticed the thickening of the No Shave November?
I was just, wondering when's the last time I actually saw the beard.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of weeks.
I think this is about as long as I've ever had it.
Really?
Yeah, because I always break down. And I shave it once it hits a certain length. But I think I'm just going to go for it.
Well, I wish you would, because 3 years ago, we were going to go for growing our hair out.
Oh, yeah, I can't do that.
And that didn't last.
No, not up on top. It drives me nuts. I don't know how you do it. As soon as it starts to get into my eyes. But you got, obviously, are you way beyond that? Can you even imagine having short hair at this point?
No. And I've had it cut once in 3 years, so...
Was it traumatizing?
It was helpful, but it's like it's getting to the point where I need that again. But yeah, no, I can't imagine I see the old stuff where I have short hair and it doesn't look like me anymore. I'm so used to seeing it with the longer, stringy, nasty hair.
You have changed your identity.
Going back to the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, your mystery absence.
Yes. So I've been working on this thing, which the first thing that I had to do was admit that I was going to have to present something.
Now, before we go any further,
Back it up.
You still got smick in your...
Well, that's because I'm a redneck. There we go.
Walk around with your food saver.
Yeah. No, here a couple weeks ago, I said, "Here next week, this is it," and I hate it when I do that. I get so anxious to follow through with something that I end up not following through with something, and then I get mad at myself. But I said, I'm bringing my guitar, and I'm going to present what I've got going on this song. This is what you were talking about, right?
Sure.
What the heck were you talking about?
Well, you were sick. You were out. You called me at 7:20. I can't talk. I cough. We were going to do the FaceTime because you're allegedly sick.
Yeah. Oh, I was sick.
So what was the illness?
What do you mean allegedly?
Well, you didn't want to show up with the guitar.
No, that had nothing to do with it.
I don't feel good. Mom, I need to stay home from school today.
The guitar thing is that I had worked on it, but I didn't like it. And I still, I'm working it through. I got the title, I got the first verse, I got the chorus, but I just...
What's not to like?
I'm very picky when it comes to this stuff.
This is pre-recorded. You get in here,
but everything
you play it, and you don't like it. You say, Lance, don't put that in the air.
Yeah, but I don't know if y'all know this out there, but I don't remember much of anything that hasn't made the air. Like, there ain't a ton. There's editing, obviously.
There's editing.
Yeah. No, it makes it. So whatever I put out there, I have a feeling it's going to make it. And I want to present it as not just some idiot trying to write a tune, but an actual song that is going to be one worth presenting.
So now I see what you have to say about my guitar playing.
Yeah, now.
I don't want to be just some idiot trying to.
Yeah, I wasn't actually thinking of you. Plenty of folks out there who've presented stuff and wanted it to be like, hey, can we play this on a Sunday morning? Like, I don't know about that. No, but heck no.
There was that old show, I forget the name of everything, but the skit was, it was a old blues player. He'd sit on, in the street corner or whatever, and somebody'd say something. It didn't matter what anybody said or whatever happened. He had the same line and the same three licks, but somebody would say, leave me alone. Hey, can you give me some money? Leave me alone. Hey, wrote a song about that. You want to hear it? Here it goes. You want to leave me alone? Hold his hand down.
Yeah.
And that was the extent of the skit. And so what was funny is he kept doing it over and over again, but it didn't matter what anybody said. Yep. He worked that into that little, you just want me to leave you alone. No.
That's good.
Wrote a song for you.
I wrote a song about that right there. Bug off, man. Hey.
Just want me to bug off.
Just want me to bug off. Now that I could do.
Well, we apologize for ZZ Top fans out there right now.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, I look forward to it. But I'm not even going to say.
On my dresser. Yes, sir.
Not even going to say next week.
In the next future, I'll bring the guitar in. You could borrow
nearer
mine.
Than farer. Yeah, see, that's part of the issue. I can't just spontaneously bust something out because you play with the wrong hand.
I play the guitar upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For sure.
Oh, sure.
But I appreciate you covering last week. That was not my favorite Thanksgiving, for sure.
Was it the COVIDs or stomach flu or?
So I don't know why I know why I do it, because we were having a family gathering and I didn't want to. I still have this COVID. We had tests. We had 3 tests
Sure.
at the house. And so I decided because of certain relatives that are older that we had, I was going to go ahead and test. And it tested positive. It tested positive 3 times, 3 days in a row. But that first one was the day before.
Sure.
Or the Tuesday before, whatever, Monday before. And so I know that Dawn probably gave it to me, but she never tests.
Right.
She had it before me,
Right.
but she doesn't claim she did because she never tests.
Mm.
See, if you just don't test,
Yeah, you don't.
you don't have to worry about it.
Nope.
So I was having a little bit of a flashback back to when we were in the heat of the pandemic with COVID, and I took a test, and everybody in my family didn't want me to take the test.
Right.
Because it caused Skylar to have to miss 2 weeks of playoff football.
Oh, no.
That's what I was just sitting there going, why do I repeat it? But ultimately, it's the responsible thing to do.
Sure.
So,
Son,
I
you
spent-
won't be playing Division I football.
no, that,
Because.
right. Yeah, that's a regretful, because that was back when they had us all. Well,
Freaked out.
Am I still living in fear of this
Yeah.
crap? Because I say all the time, I think the COVID tests, they test positive for colds, flu, and whatever they're calling COVID now.
Yeah.
So I'm not testing again. Let's put it that way.
Break those tests up.
I'll be coming right over here, snotting all over this microphone, and I will not be testing.
I'll just take vitamin C.
Remember when we used to actually get colds?
Right.
Remember when we used to actually get the flu?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now it's just all COVID.
Well, and yeah, I don't even want to go down that road.
I know, same here.
It's,
That just kills a doctor buddy of mine to even mention anything like that.
So interesting statistic I ran across.
Okay.
What percentage of American men would you guess have served in the military?
American men in the military. Boy, howdy, I got to think that it's probably pretty dang low. Maybe like 5%.
That's the amazing thing to me, 5%.
Wow.
5 to 6%. I blew my mind. For some reason, maybe it's just because I was raised in the military and I served in the military. It seemed like everybody I knew has been in the military. And so when they do this Happy Veterans Day thing, it's just real awkward to me. I don't see myself as a veteran. We talked about identity the past couple of weeks. I don't see myself as a veteran. So when I want to thank you for the service to your country, I'm like, I just drank a lot of beer.
Sure.
It was an opportunity for me to grow up. It was, thank you for not firing me while I was in there.
Yeah.
I got a chance to mature and grow up and learn a craft and learn how to be a naval instructor and then go to college. It was, it was all me. You guys, got the short end of that stick. So I always felt unveteran-like. And they were talking about, if you see a guy with the cap on, it says, whatever, make sure you go up and say hello to him. So I just Googled it, how many Americans are veterans, and it was like 5-6%. And that number is going down.
Right.
Because the older veterans from World War II, Korea, Vietnam, they're passing along, and what's left behind are people who did not serve.
Sure.
So, yeah, in that case, then if you do see somebody who's a veteran, do go out of your way to thank them.
Heck yeah.
For taking that opportunity to go mature on your dollar.
Mm-hmm.
No, many of them served in actual wartime, real military type experiences, and you never know which one is which. So,
right,
they could be like me and just have been a telecommunications nerd, working with computers and satellites and not seeing any real action.
Yeah, but it takes the whole thing.
True.
So thank you so much.
Yeah. So I was just That was a shocking number to me, so I thought I
Yeah.
would share that.
Yeah.
And then you said you listened and apparently watched the podcast and had a few thoughts about it.
Yeah, the main thought being that like some of the stuff that you think about as a psychologist, the way that it feels like you're psychoanalyzing all the time. Like I've never taken the time to really consider that, again, they're just figments. These are just people that it's like half the time I was laying there going, what in the heck is he talking about?
And it's
What?
No,
That's not to knock it.
No, this stuff does go through my head, partly because I've studied it, partly because it's my profession, but then partly because it's
Got
kind of
the
an
sweats
interesting
going on over here.
concept. You still got the COVIDs.
Yeah, I'm sweating it out.
I'll be disinfecting. Where's my mask that doesn't work?
Right.
It doesn't help. I'll wear it anyway. Don't go there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the idea that, but what is reality?
Mm-hmm.
And eyewitness testimony. The experiment's been done again and again and again, where Oprah Winfrey did it on TV, where somebody ran in and stole the producer's purse and ran off, and then Oprah acted all pearl clutchy. Oh, somebody call the police. Everybody write down what you saw.
Yeah.
And the audience members, scribble down their statement, and it was all different. Black guy, white guy, tall guy, short guy, 2 guys, 3 guys, 1 guy.
Yeah.
Everybody had a different take on what occurred, and in their mind, that is real.
Yeah.
And I did my dissertation on false memories, recovered memories, false memories, trying to be, again, that was a politically hot topic in the 90s, and I was trying to be scientific about studying memory, not really trying to fall one way or the other on either side of that debate that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But that was, kind of mind-opening to see that what we remember occurring many times bears very little similarity to the reality.
Isn't that crazy?
I have a false memory. When I was a kid, I guess my dad was serving overseas, and for some reason my mother took us kids to Fort Worth, Texas, and we were at my aunt's house. And out in the backyard, she had one of them little kiddie pools, and I was inside the house. I only know this in my memory because I'm heading out. And as I'm heading towards the back door, my mom is standing at the kitchen sink yelling out the back window at my brother and sister to settle down. If you're not going to play right, don't play at all. And as I'm heading out the screen door, my sister is coming from the pool screaming bloody murder because my brother is a mean person, my older brother. And so in my memory, I was probably 4, 5, maybe. My sister would have been, 8 or 9, and then my brother would have been 10 or 12. That kind of a range. Mm-hmm. And as I walk out the door, I remember thinking, man, my sister's, just over the top. I got to get away from her. And I'm heading to the pool. Yay! And my brother is sitting there with his arms spread across the edge of the pool like he's king of the world. And my sister, in her anger, as I pass by her, she couldn't let it go. She picks up a Gerber baby food jar, which became a toy after the kid ate it. Mm-hmm. That was laying on the ground. She picked up this glass Gerber baby jar and winged it at him and cracked him in the head.
Oh.
And blood started pouring down his face.
Wow.
And then my sister really let out a scream because she saw all the blood on my brother's face. She thinks she just killed him, probably. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. I can't even enjoy the pool. But my brother, he doesn't realize he's bleeding because he's in the pool. Mm-hmm. So he's wet.
Sure.
So he reaches up and holds his head, where she just knocked him in the noggin with a glass jar, and he's wiping his head, and so blood's smearing all over his face. And my mom's now, had it up to here, and she's running out the back door. So I've heard that story told around the kitchen table a million times when the family gets together, how they do.
Yep.
So it was probably 2001 or 2, I don't know, many years after I was a kid, and I actually happened to get with my aunt and my sister, and we were walking into a restaurant, and I said, yeah, like the time La Honda. And I told the story, and they all looked at me and said, that didn't happen. And then they retold the story very differently than what I had told. And I'm standing there as they're telling this to me, two older adults who would have been older when the memories were written, were telling me what actually happened. And none of that is in my mind.
Wow.
I have a very clear, vivid film memory of that event occurring. And apparently it's all untrue.
So what would have caused you, or what causes us to create those perspectives?
And this is the power of the mind, is what you imagine. Those images from your imagination, those images that you're imagining to your mind are just as real as the images your eyes and brain are producing of what it's seen in front of you. When you imagine somebody standing there, it's just as real to you as if they are actually standing there.
Yeah.
And so when you are told a story a number of times, or when you retell the story, or when you rethink through and you fill in blanks of what must have happened or what must have occurred, just as you rehearse the narrative, that narrative takes on a reality.
Well, for it to be so different, I have to imagine that at some point you had to be walking out towards the pool thinking to yourself, can we just enjoy the pool? And in your mind, you're thinking to yourself, you should just pick up that Gerber bottle and just fling it at him, crack him in the head, shut him up.
It very well could have been.
These type of thoughts that end up getting put into a reality when in fact they're just in your imagination.
I had a kid once, he's 11, and he came to my office just really upset. And I was like, what's going on? And he said, Dad's moving to Hawaii. And whoa, this is, brand new news to me. And we were in the middle of a kind of a court case, a child custody investigation. And I'm like, Dad's not mentioned moving to me in all of this. And so, but thankfully, knowing what I know, I didn't jump to that conclusion. The kid is 100% accurate and go kill Dad. Called Dad in. So tell me what's going on, Dad. And he's talking randomly. And I said, so, how you like your house? Oh, it's great. He's not giving me anything. And finally, kind of me trying to tease around the corners, I can't pick anything out. Finally, I said, well, for some reason, your son is under the impression you're moving to Hawaii. And he, what? No, I'm not moving to Hawaii. He said, no, he heard you on the phone a couple of weeks ago. And he stopped and he thought back and he goes, no. I have a friend who 2 years ago moved to Hawaii, and we were talking on the phone, and now he's trying to think back to the conversation from 2 weeks ago. And he said, I don't know, maybe I said to him it would be great to be living there, something like that. And the kid overheard part of a statement in the other room and built this whole narrative around it that to him became real. That his dad was moving away, moving to Hawaii, leaving the whole family behind. Mm-hmm. And he came in and reported that to me, genuinely believing it, crying.
Yeah.
And, had it not been for, that intervention, if I wasn't in the wild with the wildebeest, some family drama would have occurred. Dad would not have moved, and the kid would have grown up thinking Dad was going to move Hawaii when we were young, and I've got to act right, and he's going to leave us. And
yeah.
But yeah, I don't, exactly how these things, there's 8 mechanisms that I discovered that, lead to us to have them, have something occur, not have a memory for a while, and then for it to be remembered, other than, the Freudian repression or suppression or those kind of concepts. And one of them is just confabulation, where it didn't actually occur, but we created in our mind. Mm. And that happens a lot with elderly people, especially with dementia. They think they remember something having occurred. It did not actually occur, but it gets created in their mind.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's, that brings me back to, taking those events, those concepts that memories are created in our mind, and then some feel real, some aren't real. Well, we are a figment of our own imagination. How my take on your identity is based on how I think of you. Well, then if you extend that, well, my personal identity is how I think of myself. And I've created that over the years. And this becomes really important for people with trauma histories, because the narratives of what was, going down at the time during the trauma, the things they were told, what they did and didn't do, their expectations of themselves, all of this feeds into them creating this narrative of who they were, but they carry that forward. That's who I am. And for many years, they live in shame and guilt because this occurred to them. But they feel the shame and guilt because somehow it's, they brought it on themselves. They're telling themselves they brought it on themselves, or they didn't defend themselves well, or bad things always happen to me. And they start creating this false narrative about their own self-identity. And then they create false narratives about what other people will think if they learn. And this is all vapor. This is all mist that we're creating in our mind. And 90% of it's not true. You are not, Kevin Johnson.
It's true.
Famously said, who Kevin Johnson is?
Nope.
Lead singer for Disciple. He said,
famously once said,
you are not who they say you are. You are not the labels people put on you.
Yeah.
And you've been given an identity. That is your identity. It's your job to go accept that identity. You are not who they say you are. Ergo, you are not who you say you are. So who are you? And wouldn't it be great if we actually got our identity from the one who created us? And so who does he say I am? And then building that into our mind.
That's the song. One of the lines that I've got is, I think, therefore you are.
Yeah, that's good.
Hasn't taken us very far. It's I'm excited about it, but
Is that on a G chord there?
Well,
Or D?
Either G or C.
Oh.
So, yeah, because you're right. We think about how we do this as adults. 90% of the conversations that we have in our minds are literally never going to happen, and they're figments of our imagination.
They are.
They're the world of imagination that we are trying to force into reality. But most of the time it's not even forcing it, it's just where we're living.
Sure.
And how crazy is that? But what I appreciated about last week was just bringing the awareness of it and really starting to consider, even at a deeper level for me anyway, the power of the thinking, the power of the thoughts. And so that's it was good. I enjoyed it.
I said something declarative last week that I'm fully expecting, and it's already started to some respect, in a positive way right now. But I fully expected to get a lot of pushback on.
Declarative. I don't know that I've ever used that word. Declarative. Very clear what it means. But
I paid $0.25 for that, so I have to throw it in once in a while. I made a bold ass statement.
There you go.
For all you rednecks out there. I put my foot down.
I thought and I said something about it.
I said, you can be whoever you want to be.
Yeah.
And as soon as that came out of my mouth, because I'm literally thinking out loud. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Is I'm thinking out loud for the audience here, because this is what I'm in there. You saw the backsplash. I'm in there trimming the sheetrock and All these thoughts are floating through my head. Well, you can literally be who you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And in today's environment, in today's society, I could see people twisting that to mean what it didn't mean.
Absolutely. That's the first thing that I thought about.
And that's exactly what I was, kind of anticipating
Mm-hmm.
people were going to come back at me with.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to use a favorite line of mine from my favorite speaker.
Okay.
You have to hear that sentence. You have to hear that phrase, that declaration in context. Because if you take the text out of the context, you're left with the
content. This is why tweets are so dangerous and just foolish, really.
Right.
Who would ever want to just throw something out there with complete lack of context?
Right.
And think that everybody's going to understand what you're saying or thinking.
That sentence I made, you can be whoever you want, in and of itself, people will do all sorts of stuff with it.
Right.
But if you listen to the 10 minutes before and the 10 minutes after, you realize there's a context within what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And that is that you were created by God.
Right.
For a purpose. He knitted you while you were in your mother's womb. He put in every hair on your head, whatever the book says. But he specifically created you as you are for a purpose. So we imagine ourselves to be other things. We create our own identities in the world. I'm a psychologist, or I'm a computer tech, or I'm a motorcyclist, or I'm whatever. I'm a rock star. We create these identities ourselves. But he has created an identity for us. And when we decide that we want to be who he made us to be, we can turn and begin to, the old is gone, the new is here. We can begin to transform from our old identity, the one we've been telling ourselves for many years, to our new identity, which is the reality of what he created us as and to be. But we have to do the work. We have to do the heavy lifting. We have to turn to him and say, who am I? Who do you want me to be?
Had to jot that line down. You can be anything he wants you to be. If you've lined your desires up with that, you literally can't go wrong.
Right.
And so go for it. If you feel bold and confident that that's what he wants for you.
Sure.
So that's really good.
Unlike humans, in the spirit world, we're to walk with him daily.
Yep.
Because in human world, we all deal with this, and I deal with it on a daily basis, is should I go to college or not? And they're thinking 30, 40 years from now. Mm-hmm. If I go to college now and I major in this, then I can work in this field, and then eventually I can, they're deciding what to do now based on long-term goals that they're imagining. And people oftentimes won't take any step or get off the snide today unless they're guaranteed of what tomorrow or the next day will bring if they do this. What if I do that? Oh, well, this bad thing could happen. What if I do that? Oh, well, what about this? What about this? And they worry and they worry and they worry. And they settle on a decision that is the least worrisome, and then they take that step thinking they're actually building towards that future. And did your life over the last 20 years go the way you imagined it when you were 18 years old?
100% no.
Oh, no. But that's how we make our decisions is, I'm going to do this today because this is the road, this is the path, this is the destination. But God doesn't give you the destination. Mm-mm. He says, walk with me today.
Yep.
Give me, that's the prayer from David. Give me today my daily bread. Don't give me too much that I can think I'm doing on my own, but don't give me so little that I got to go rob and steal to get it. Just give me my daily bread so that I remember to walk with you. So when we're in tune with him, it's if he wants this and you align your wants with his wants, but that's still a daily want.
Yep. Yeah, the scripture goes, Lord, make my path straight, and then I will submit to you, and then I will trust in you. Why couldn't it have been written that way?
Right.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Starts with trust.
Boom.
Bada boom.
Bada boom.
It's good. I've really been chewing and considering that the whole change of situations by coming all the way back to that identity. Starting with that, and then making those changes, environments, and how you think and all that good stuff. So, yeah, it's really good. That was 3 and 4 episodes back. 2-3 episodes back.
Yeah. Well, and
I want to go back and review it.
Yeah, it's been continuing on. If you were kind of in and out in your fever last week, I did a summary of it in the beginning, kind of bing people through it. Yep. And the hardest part is the beginning, I think, because if you're not who you want to be, that, to even imagine, some future state that, I want to be a confident public speaker, or I want to be, I want Christmas to go well.
Yeah.
I want to build happy memories this year. I want to look back on this year with happiness and joy. And your past 30 Christmases have been, nightmares. Well, that's, really scary and what's the word I'm looking for?
Traumatizing.
Well, it's very doubtful. I say, hey, this Christmas can be the happiest ever, but your last 30 have been horrible. You're not going to believe me. So it taking a leap of faith, stepping out in trust that if I rely on him, this can be a good Christmas. And it's not just how do I want this Christmas to go, but you do that in concert with him. This Christmas season, I would like to be different. This Christmas season, I would like to be memorable, happy, joyful. Now, granted, the last 30 have not been. So help me.
Yeah.
How are we going to do that this year? And that, my identity is kind of a similar concept. I don't see myself as a great public speaker. I want you to help me become the public speaker you want me to be. Mm-hmm. And that first step, stepping out, but once you start kind of take the first step, you can take the second, you can take the third. Scared of jumping off the high dive, go jump off the high dive. It's not rocket science.
Right.
I do not recommend sitting in some therapist's office for 3 years deciding to work up the courage to go jump off the high dive.
Yep. No, that's what I appreciate about what you do. I was having a conversation just yesterday with somebody who was asking about, who they could go talk to. And so I threw your name out there as an option. And I said, but here's the deal. You're going to have to be okay with going in there. And if you say you're an idiot, he's going to 100% agree with you. Because if that's what you think, why would he disagree with you?
Right.
And then he says, now we'll start to work on how we can change that.
That's your identity you want to hold.
Yeah. Because that's where it starts.
That's where it starts.
Yep. Yeah, the whole identity. New Man is the current title of the song.
New Man?
New Man. We'll see if that sticks.
Well, if you're not going to bring your guitar in and play.
Bring it on, buddy.
I'm going to. Oh, look at that. We're out of time. We're out of time.
An even worse teaser than me.
I was gonna, but we're out of time.
That's like the one time that I did a message and I held the guitar the entire time. And I never played it.
Right.
But that held people's attention.
It felt so natural, too. I could see you just your arms hanging on it.
Heck yeah. Every now and then I just wanted to break into a chord. But yeah.
Hold your hand up there. People would sit up in their chair.
Oh. Yep. That's funny.
And then you never played.
No. Intentionally.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We are glad to have Mike back.
Thanks for having me back.
And I hope you enjoyed today. Again, shout out to all our viewers in Australia. I hope you're having a warm, wonderful Christmas season.
Is that the what's the weather like this time of year?
Well, I'm not
Is
a
it summer?
weatherman.
You know, I had that happen to me in Cleveland one time. Not to end on a very boring story, but we flew into Cleveland. It was snowing to beat the band. Is that a saying?
That is a thing.
And we get into a cab.
I don't get it, but
We're driving along, and I say, "So is it supposed to do this all week?" And the guy, just without hesitation, said, "I don't know. I'm not a weatherman." I was like, "Ooh, dang! Don't you know you're talking to somebody from the Midwest, from Kansas, who isn't used to that kind of stuff? Isn't that you're a jerk?"
go on, get. I'll take you out at the knees.
Cleveland.
Actually, I believe their seasons
Aren't
are
they opposites?
reversed.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So this time of year, they're having warm weather.
Yeah, it's like summer.
Walking around in flip-flops,
Yeah.
enjoying the lake and walks.
Well,
we had 8 inches of snow.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
We had 8 inches of snow yesterday, day before.
Well, we'll have to run over there sometime and just do a quick live remote.
Oh yeah, just pop on our private jet.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Better yet, we could ride motorcycles.
Ooh, that'd be a heck of a ride. Flotation devices.
We will catch you guys next week. I am Lance.
And I'm Mike.
And we're just these guys, you know.
Have an awesome week.
See ya.